Let's rock.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. And I hope you're feeling good, you're feeling great, because I'm feeling the same. And it is time to go ahead and bring in my guy, the Don of Cape Cod himself, the boss over at East Coast Sports Investors, my man, Jeff Dawson. What's going on, brother? How's everything going with you today? You're looking very also right now.
I'm hanging in there. How about yourself, sir?
I'm good, baby. I'm good. Just getting back, getting everything acclimated and everything. Still haven't tested ground since Texas. A lot of business going on and everything like that. So, it is what it is. Just another week of the life of the primetime capper. What's going on with you, Jeff?
Same here. We had a great weekend. We nailed Rory. Plus 1650 in the golf, and had a couple head-to-head matchups, and overall life was good. Waiting to dabble into that NBA. I mean, it's crazy out there, Pops. Some of the games out there and the swings and everything, but overall getting ready for the playoffs, the NHL, and we've been grinding away at baseball. Things are good here.
Okay. So pretty much, all right. So where we're at right now is let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about the Rodgers saga going on. Rodgers continues the Rodgers saga continues. Will Green Bay move on? Will he return to a record contract, which has been offered? What do you think, Jeff?
Rodgers is a diva, and he wants it his way or the highway. He's disappointed the fact that Brady forced his way out of New England, went to Tampa, and they brought everyone over that he wanted, and then some. The Packers have not got him a wide receiver in a long, long time. Rumor has it that they could restructure his contract, go grab Julio, who is available, add him to the mix. I'm hearing a lot of Denver. I'm hearing a lot that's going to actually make a headway, and I think you can get like plus 150 him starting in Denver in September. So it will be interesting, though. Davante Adams was on yesterday stating that if Rodgers leaves, it's going to be an uphill battle. I mean, Love's not ready, but we'll see. I think the damage has been done, though, Pops.
Yeah, the relationship is over. It truly is. And the relationship really ended a few years ago, but it's like this. Green Bay's the wife that just can't let you go. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. I know I'm going into my Colin Cowherd type of talk, but it's just like the lady that just can't let you go because you know what? She let go of her other old man who's a Hall of Famer, Brett Favre, and brought you in with no issues. They even booed Brett Favre for you when he came back to Lambeau. So my thing is like this: Aaron Rodgers is pretty much made his mind up, and they're gonna have to make this deal happen. And it's from what everything sounds like, everything is pointing toward a West Coast team for Rodgers as well, too. I think the Raiders still might throw their hat in this thing as well, because the Raiders have to look at the right now factor. You know what I mean? The Raiders would be making a better move than the Rams did, in my opinion. You know what I mean? If you go get Rodgers, the Rams wouldn't but if the Rams knew Rodgers would be on the market, they would have jumped so quickly to go get Matt Stafford. You know what I mean? If they would have just waited, been a little patient, they could have made this deal happen immediately because they were so busy trying to get rid of Goff instead of just going and drafting, putting things together, acting like the trade deadline is going to occur at some middle point of the offseason. No, he can trade until week 10. So they could have made a deal happen with patience And if they knew anything going on, they would have knew that Aaron Rodgers has been mad. Aaron Rodgers has been mad at the Packers for a while now. And everybody in the league knew that. But now he's just out in the open about it. But they're going to make it happen. I know a lot of people were like, well, why did they do the same thing for Deshaun? Well, Deshaun still has a lot more upside. Rodgers is at the peak of his career. Let's all be honest about that part.
And you made a great point about patience, because Denver and Carolina both passed on Fields, and that was going to be a landing spot. So when you use the word patience, I think Denver thinks that they have Rodgers in the mix, and I also think the Panthers deep down think that when all the dust settles, that Watson potentially will be over in Carolina.
Things make a lot of sense, that everything that you're saying, it makes a whole lot of sense when it comes down to it. So let's go ahead and jump into our next topic at hand. And pretty much this one is a doozy right here as well, too. This is going to be about the Cowboys. Cowboys are heavy favorites once again. Will we fall for it this time, though, Jeff? Because me and you both got really played by the Cowboys last year when we sat up there and did our preview show for NFL Bet Exchange. We were all over the Cowboys to literally run circles around the NFC East last year. What occurred is literally they didn't even break out the gate. They rocked your world us. They did exactly what Rock Your World did to me at the Derby a few weeks back. You got out the gate, but you didn't have your foot in the rain. So boom, we're in a bad position. And then the underdogs somewhat wins the division. And we didn't give the Redskins really any shot. Both of us. We had the Redskins in a rebuild situation. And we said to ourselves that the Eagles and the Cowboys would be the ones vying for it. And it wound up being, at the end of the day, a four-way situation to even win the division. So I'm thinking to myself, the Cowboys cannot waste this opportunity right now to be the best team in their division. They have too many good players coming back this season. And I think that with everybody healthy, the Cowboys should be a sufficient team in the NFL. But I'm not good putting no guarantees on the Cowboys. I'm sorry, I just can't do it, Jeff.
It's the old banana in the tailpipe, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. We fell for it again, and they haven't won in forever. I think offensively, again, they're going to be great. I think the leniency of leaning on Zeke is maybe gone. I'd rather give the ball to Dak. He's got a ton of weapons out there. And then, have them basically defensively be looking for the pass, and that's when Zeke will come in. Defensively, they're still missing. They did nail the cornerback in the draft. The division, no Wentz. Another year of Daniel Jones and Washington. So, I think on paper, if healthy, I think you got to respect the fact that they are favorites. They're overdue. I'm not putting my hat out there and saying that they're going to, make it to the NFC Championship. But I think if healthy and the offensive line can stay healthy, I definitely can see them winning the East, though, Pops.
Yeah, I think that's a foregone conclusion. I wanted to bring it up because I know the Cowboys are a top 10 team when it comes to Super Bowl odds this year, but that's mainly because of fan base. It's never going to be because the Cowboys are really that good, because the Cowboys are in a Yankee situation where it's ring or bust. But you know what? It's been ring or bust for the last 24 years. You know what I mean? And at some point, everybody's going to have to limit their expectations a little bit with the Cowboys, starting off with their owner. So pretty much, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. Let's go ahead and jump into our next topic in hand, and that's going to be with I'm trying to get everything situated because I'm still doing the tracker for us as well, too. So with our next topic in hand, this one is a fun one. Mac Jones in your neck of the woods. Does he actually go ahead and start this season? Do you think he's going to start this year?
If Bill has his way, no. They got off to a good start last year, and then Cam got COVID, and the rest was history. The hardest part with the Patriots is, will they carry 3 quarterbacks? I mean, they technically, if Mac is ready, they could, release Cam. Hopefully he can latch on somewhere else. Use Stidham as the backup. I don't think he wants him in there to start. I really don't. See how he does in OTAs and in camp. But I could definitely see a bridge here with Cam for one more year. Listen, the Pats added a lot of weapons, and defensively they're bringing some guys back. The East is tough. Buffalo's locked and loaded, and we know what the Dolphins are doing. And, the Jets will be the Jets. They got a rookie quarterback as well. I see Cam starting and then just playing it week by week. But if Mac blows him out and Cam can't throw it to me and you, Bill might have to lean that way. There's no pressure, though, for him to start, though. None whatsoever.
And I don't even know why it's been mentioned, to be dead honest to you about that. I heard somebody say the other day he has to start. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do some actual history on Mac Jones. Mac Jones never started until last season, okay? And there was a reason why Mac Jones did not start at Alabama, okay? Jalen Hurts was a better quarterback when he was there. Tua was a better quarterback when he was there as well, too. And then, Mac Jones gets his opportunity to kill it with 3 wide receivers with the possibilities of being superstars in this league. So you get the Gino Torretta feel when you see Mac Jones. He will be a great clipboard holder, in my opinion. But I think at the end of the day, he winds up being just a backup in the league. He'll get his chance to start, but eventually the reality of the situation will set in. I think that this was an over-anxious NFL when it came to drafting quarterbacks this year. Honestly, it was. There was a lot of teams that needed quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And that's why Mac Jones became such a commodity. I would have preferred a guy like Kyle Trask over somebody like over Mac Jones. Kyle Trask was able to play with a lot of guys who were very speedy, who play with NFL speed, and then he was able to have Kyle Pitts as well too, and be able to get that team somewhat situated and still be very competitive in the SEC over his time being the quarterback there as well too.
Well, if a certain couple people had slid to the Pats at 15, they would have made that move, gone either traded back or grabbed the defensive guy and then either moved on to the Stanford quarterback, Kelly Mond, or Trask. And getting back to Cam, the only way I see actually one other little building block, which seems like it's not going to happen now. If come June or July, Shanahan just moves on and says, Jimmy, we're all set, and he cuts him, I think the Pats would be on the horn immediately and bring Jimmy G over for that 1 year bridge. Say, hey, you got 1 year, prove yourself, go back out to free agency. We'll be ready to move on to Mac Jones. But it doesn't seem like the 49ers, what I heard was that there was a potential deal with Jimmy G coming over to the Pats, but he didn't want to restructure his contract. And he's got $24 million hanging over him for that opening day roster. So it will be interesting. Keep an eye on the Niners just to see what they do. You talk about moving these quarterbacks in too quick. Hey, nothing I see that no disrespect to Trey Lance, but I don't think he's ready to take over that team either.
Well, the thing with Trey Lance is this. Trey Lance, it took a year off. And when you take a year off from the game, it's like being hurt for a year as well, too. You're going to have to ease your way back into the situation. And you're going to go from FCS defenses now to NFL defenses. I think that was one of the worst opt-outs of the season because people needed to see more from Trey Lance than what was expected because everybody knows North Dakota State is the Alabama of the FCS. So, you know what? There could be a little bit of a friction there, just like, they're looking at the potential because Trey Lance was considered the best quarterback prospect before we even started the year. But then he decided to opt out. So we don't get a good precedent on what he really is because he opted out and he didn't want to be a warrior like every other quarterback that participated in the season. But he has an understandable situation. They didn't get the FCS started until like right now. People don't even know this. They're playing FCS games on Saturdays right now. You know what I mean? So the bettors know this, but it's not. You don't see the bettors using this as their key. You know what I mean? They're not putting this out as their play of the week or anything. The FCS, because we all know what goes down in the FCS. FCS is walking upsets left and right, dude. Seriously, it's March Madness when you're dealing with that portion of college football. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and give props where props are due. The Brodie goes ahead and breaks a record that nobody thought was going to be broken. He breaks Big O's triple-double record, and he is now Mr. Triple-Double himself. Congratulations to the kid from Lawndale High, Russell Westbrook, a.k.a. the Brodie, the guy that played with the chip on his shoulder and was the third man. It was third string freshman year over at UCLA behind Jordan Farmer, Darren Collison, and has outplayed both of his counterparts that played with him in college basketball. And nothing but love for the Brodie. What are your thoughts on that?
Hats off. It's funny. You go back, 6 weeks ago and look at what the Wizards were, and then an amazing run. And unfortunately, Beal out for the year now. We actually went against the Brodie. I think they had played, including last night, like 5 games in 7 days. And we're down 20 late third, and then they go on a 19-0 run. They do lose, but they do cover. So in our business, as long as you cover, it's a win. And that was our only loss yesterday. But no, he has stepped up his game. And, it would be nice to think back what could have been at OKC, with Harden and KD. I mean, that would have been the real big three back there. But hats off, great run. And, the triple-double and the young guys, the millennials, that's what they look for. Get in on those props. I think he was minus 400 last night to get a triple-double. So easy cash for anyone that followed him. So congratulations.
So congratulations to all the bettors that got some money out that triple-double last night. I will never take a minus 400 on that, but good for you. Good for you, big baller. You already know 400 to make 100. Do your thing, because and if you're doing 400 to make 100, you better put 4 bands on it so you can at least have 5,000 to walk off with. Come on, man. All right, so me and Jeff will be right back. Let's go ahead and check out hatclub.com. You guys go ahead and get yourself 10% off on any $50 order or better at hatclub.com. So you guys go ahead and hit that link in the show description, and you guys will get yourself a discount of 10% off on any $50 order or better. So with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the Primetime Kappa and Jeff Dawson, the Don of Cape Cod.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
What's up, world? We are back, and it is time to go ahead and get into the MLB, Jeff. That's a thing that we've always key in on here, because it is about to be summertime, and it is about the boys of summer and everything like that. So let's go ahead and hop into it real quick. And pretty much we have ourselves some pretty good matchups and everything tonight. I think that we'll be able to find some good value here as well too. So let me go ahead and jump into the first game that I got listed here. That's going to be the Phillies at the Nats, a good old NL East matchup here. Now, from what I can see here, these guys are going to be very, very. This is a rivalry game. You have Fetty on the mound for the Nats, and then you have pitching for the Phillies. Let me get his name again real quick. Oh yeah, Chase Anderson, a guy struggled in Milwaukee and has been now is in Philadelphia. Eric Fetty is actually pitching pretty good baseball, but he's given up a lot of runs as well too. So he did decent last time out, but he did give up 5 earned runs. He's sitting at a 5.27 ERA. Chase Anderson sitting at 5.54 right now too. So a lot of people are going to lean to the over, Jeff. So what are you thinking here?
When we took a look in a snapshot last night at this game and then woke up this morning, there was about a 55-45 split on the bets, but sharper heavy money are coming in on the Nats, moving that to minus 130. We do have a slight lean on the Nats. Total-wise, again, which Fetty's going to show up, which Chase Anderson's going to show up. And also, the Phillies' back end has been pretty atrocious. So, slight lean to the Nats here, Pops.
All right. So, slight lean to the Nats. All right. That's cool. And pretty much we're sitting here and we're going to we're looking at this situation right here. And we'll go ahead and let's move on to our next game. Our next spot is going to be this one. It's going to be it's going to be good here. It's going to be the Athletics and the Red Sox. Now, we do have ourselves a good spot here with these two because this is good old rivalry right here, baby. Red Sox and the A's, a lot of playoff games between these two teams and everything like that. I know a lot of memories for Jeff as well, too. So, pretty much in this spot, you got the A's coming in here as the slight dog, not a big dog, slight dog. You know what I mean? So, that means that to me, this always means the lines makers got a little confused. You feel what I'm saying? Because they got them at plus 105, but they probably want to have them a little bit higher, but they know how good the A's actually are. So they overjuice the spread on you in this spot. And so when you see games like this one, you do try to lean a little bit towards the underdog in this spot. But I think right here, though, Boston should be good because they had a little bit of a bad they didn't play well yesterday against the Orioles, losing 5-1. So I think they can bounce back today, but we're going to see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But the Red Sox have Eovaldi, postseason hero, guy. How many innings did he go against the Dodgers? 11?
He pitched very well against your Dodgers.
Yeah, but it was messed up because he pitched a great game, but he still caught the L because the bullpen. He didn't catch the L, the bullpen did. But you know what I'm talking about, though. All right, so you got Chris Bassett, who's actually striking out a lot of guys, but I don't know if he's getting the right type of run support right now. That's why he's kind of off a little bit right now, but he's been lights out the last 4 games when it comes to pitching. So what are your thoughts on this one, Jeff?
The Sox opened up at 1:30. They did come home this morning from Baltimore. What we've seen this afternoon, Pops, is some reverse line movement. There's more bets coming in on the Red Sox and more money, but the line has dropped. I can see the Sox right now at about minus 124. And if you shop around, you can get the Athletics anywhere from plus 104 to plus 114. So we do have a slight lean on the Athletics, plus the 104, 114, whatever you can shop. Following the reverse line movement as we speak. Looks like the wind might be blowing out as well. So if the pitchers aren't getting the ball down, it could be a shootout at the OK Fenway Park.
All right. And you know what, Jeff? I'm with you on this one. I love the A's in this spot. I think they get to Eovaldi a little early in this game, and then they just go from there. I think Chris Bassett's going to have him a good night tonight.
I agree.
All right, so let's move on to our next spot. This is going to be another really good game. This is going to be between the Orioles and the Mets. Orioles coming in here plus 125 on the spread, and then we also have the Mets coming in here minus 155. So pretty much we have both of these teams in position to get down to the nitty-gritty and things like that. So we pretty much are looking at this situation and telling ourselves that, the Orioles should be in it, but a lot of people aren't going to be with the Orioles in this spot. We know why, because nobody really respects the Orioles, but I think we should have a little respect for John Means, who did throw a no-hitter the other day as well too. So he's actually coming in here as one of the better pitchers in all of baseball right now. 50 strikeouts, over 10 walks. He also has a 1.37 ERA, and he's 4-0 on the year. Stroman, we all know who Stroman is. Stroman is a high strikeout guy, low walks guy, but he does have a little tendencies of getting hit, but he's coming in with the 2.10 ERA into this game as well too. I feel like the Mets really jumped on the Orioles today. I think John Means is going to still be good, but I think that since this is an interleague game, I think the Mets are going to get to him a little bit early, and they'll figure out a way to actually win this game by multiple runs today. How are you feeling, Jeff?
Last night, Mets opened up around 125. Woke up this morning, it was 145 and getting pushed to 150. Generally speaking, a little better's fallacy here. You always go against a pitcher coming off a no-hitter. The game before, when he did pitch the no-hitter at Seattle, it was basically a pick-em. I'm not comparing Seattle to the Mets, but the point is Vegas knows kind of which way this game's going, and a lot of sharp, heavy money coming in on the Mets. So I strongly suggest to buy the Mets now, because that could creep as high as maybe 155, 160. And John Means, hands down, the best pitcher in the American League and one of the top 3 in the game right now. Kid has been absolute lights out. But I definitely have a strong opinion on the Mets today.
All right, and we're together on this one. Walk with me to the window. All right, so our next game up is going to be the Yankees and the Rays from Tampa Bay. And the Yankees and Rays, this one should be pretty good as well, too. We have ourselves Yankees coming in here minus 135 today. And the Yankees and the Rays, both, they're kind of in a perplexed situation right now. We expected the Rays to kind of be middling, but we expected the Yankees to be really good out the gate. But you know what? The Yankees are dealing with the same thing the Dodgers are dealing with, a lot of injuries and different issues that they haven't really, they haven't fixed yet. But the Dodgers don't really have too many major issues, but the Yankees do, because this is starting to become a problem. Any smart GM would have probably walked away from John Stanton by now, Giancarlo Stanton by now. To be dead honest with you, I love John too. He's a great player. I think that his skills are not eroded, but I don't know if he's really worth the big dollars that he's actually commanding right now, because he has the Adam Dunn syndrome where you can hit a lot of home runs, but you still strike out a lot. And that's good for bad teams. It's not good for great teams like the Yankees. You know what I mean, Jeff? You have to have a guy who's consistently in an MVP form. That's what they signed up for. And that's why everybody laughed at Jeter, because the day one when he walked in there, he said, I got to get rid of Stanton. And it wasn't because just money. He knew that he was overpaying for him at the time. He doesn't have the same prowess as Albert Pujols, even though he was compared to him in a sense as well, too. So I think that might be the biggest hindrance. And I think that maybe it's either you have Judge or Stanton. You can't have both because they're too much of the same player. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that real quick?
I tend to agree. Baseball now, though, fits his repertoire. I mean, you either strike out, you hit a homer, or you walk. And that the ball in play is horrific. I think the league average right now is around 233. But, the Yankees with a big high payroll, they've been waiting and waiting and waiting. There's really nothing that they can do right now because of that contract.
Right. And they're stuck. And I think that, they need to, and I know this is sounding weird coming from a guy that it actually watches the Dodgers within the division and everything like that. And we'll get to them in a moment as well, too. I didn't forget about Blue Crew Daily. But the thing is, from what I'm seeing with the Dodgers is that it's this. The Dodgers really do need to figure out back end pitching. That's what they need to do as well. And I think that maybe they might need to move on from Justin Turner. But this is a little proposition. Since the Giants are so good right now, I would say the Yankees need to jump on the phone with them and see what they can get out of the Giants prospect-wise. If they want to see if they continue to be good, the Giants should take a flyer on Stanton. because I think that would be a much better fit for him at this moment in his career, having back on the West Coast with a team that, that's actually can use his services accordingly. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. I know Yankee fans probably don't want to hear this, and some Yankee fans do want to hear this, but at the end of the day, I think it's just a bad fit. But I digress. Let me talk a little bit more about the game. They got Jordan Montgomery on the mound today. Jordan Montgomery's decent, 28 strikeouts over 8 walks, but he's 1-1 on the season, 4.41 ERA. And Luis Patino has actually had a really, really good debut, Jeff. He actually not his debut, but the way he's been pitching as of late, they don't keep him in the game long, but he's doing a great job. He's only given up 3 hits this year and 1 run, Jeff. So that's a pitcher that they're molding into being a starter. So I think that this is going to be good game today. But I think all in all, what happens here is that we'll probably be scoreboard watching here. So let me go ahead and move on to our next game, which is going to be the Cardinals and the Brewers. Cardinals and the Brewers. This is a good old rivalry game here in the NL Central. You know what? When I look at this one, they're giving us a high spread on the Cardinals today. The Cardinals have been kind of tricky this year. They've been good in getting spots. Then they've been really bad in spots as well, too. But in this one right here, I think that they shouldn't be the dog, even a slight dog. I think that it should be a -105 on each side or a -110 on each side, because I know why they're making them the dog, because they have Kim on the mound. But Kim, once again, is a pitcher who's been playing lights out. He doesn't give up a lot of runs this year, and he does have way more strikeouts than he does walks. So we can see how it goes with this. And Freddie Peralta, you already know he's somewhat seen as the ace of the staff at this point. So we'll see how it goes in this one, Jeff. Over under 7, I think that's a little light right there, but we'll see how it goes. What do you think?
This was one of the games that we were looking at that overnight opened up, like you just said, around Brewers around 115 and Cards plus 105, and about a 50-50 split. We've seen some strong, heavy money coming in on the Brewers. The one thing about Kim is you got to get to him early. He has struggled early in the first couple innings. If he gets the command and control down, you're in for a long evening. But ECSI has this game checked off. We are going to take the Brewers here minus the 130. I think we bought it today at around 127, 128.
All right, sounds good, Jeff. Let's get into our final game, and then we're going to get into Blue Crew Daily after that. Let's talk about the Twins and the Sox. Another central matchup, but on the AL side of things. And you know what? The Sox, I thought they were going to be better at this point, Jeff. I thought they were going to come out the gate and be, speeding ahead of the rest of the division. I thought the Twins would be much better as well, too. The Twins are almost in a rebuild season from how their record looks. They have been absolutely awful this year, but I expect that to be a team to turn around in the summertime, Jeff. That's my saying on the Twins. I think they just got to get their pitching staff intact, and I think they'll be a team that will be back in order at some point mid-July. But the Sox had to put their foot down early, because you don't want the Cleveland's a slow starter. They're going to be there in a moment. I think Kansas City is kind of a front runner right now, to be honest with you. They're winning because of schedule. How many times have they played the Tigers, Jeff? You know what I mean? The Tigers already knew that they weren't going to be much this season. I think the Tigers are a 40 to 50 win team this year. And I think Miggy Cabrera could be moved as well, too, to a contender if they want to do it. You know what I mean? So I look at this game and I say to myself, I think that today you have yourself a pretty good matchup when it comes down to your pitchers. Kenta Maeda, former Dodgers, he's a better pitcher than his ERA says he is. You know what I mean? 28 strikeouts over 7 walks. You can use that. You can take that. But Dylan Cease has been pretty good. 40 strikeouts over 15 walks, 2-0 on the year, 2.37 ERA. So everything is going to favor the White Sox in this spot, in my opinion. But I think that we can play the under here, because Kenta Maeda is known for keeping games real steady. And I think that this is going to wind up being a game that's not going to be fun for people that want to see home runs left and right. I think it's going to be more of a purist game. So what's your thoughts on this one, Jeff?
Anyone listening, a couple quick notes here. The White Sox are like 24-3, their last 27 starts when opposing a lefty. So put that in your memory bank, guys, when the White Sox are facing a lefty. I know my 8 is a righty. Secondly, you talked about the Sox and the slow start. They lose Jimenez right at the start of the season, and then now they just lost Roberts. So that's 2 big parts to their puzzle. Overnight, we saw the Sox around 120, 125, where you have that. And this morning and now this afternoon, we've seen less bets, less money on the Twins, but yet the line moving towards the Twins. And we call that reverse line movement here. And we're on the Twins. We bought them at plus 109 today. So we're taking the dog. Hope Maeda gets off to a good start and keeps the Sox off the bases.
I like it. All right, let's jump into the Blue Crew Daily. Blue Crew Daily is pretty much we got ourselves in a good little spot here when it comes down to it. You have the Dodgers playing against the Mariners, and it's crazy, Jeff. I forgot to tell you, I actually went to a Rangers game Friday, then playing the Mariners, and the Rangers got up 2 runs twice and still lost the game. It was a really good game. And it's funny because I said, always at baseball games, I find myself not paying attention to the game as much as I should be. And it was a damn good game. Fulton Newitz was pretty good as well, too. Go ahead.
We had the Rangers that night, 2-0, 4-2 leads. They lost 5-4. So I remember that very well, Pops.
Hey, and shout out to my man BG. I know he's watching the show right now. He had him as well, too. But he was so mad at me that day. He was like, you said keep the under, because I like the under in the game more than the over, because it's Fulton Newitz on the mound. Fulton usually throws under games. And by the time we got to the 4th inning, he looks over at me. It's about to hit the damn over. I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. You should have faded me, bro. So you could be like, I told you so. You know what I mean? So you could have your one up like I outcapped the Kappa. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. But that was pretty fun. Beautiful stadium, Jeff. Beautiful, beautiful stadium. There's not one seat in the house that's bad, I think. And it's a smaller park than Dodger Stadium, but it's a convenient park because they have Texas Live outside of it as well, too. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get into the Mariners. The Mariners are a unique bunch. They're not a great hitting team, Jeff, at all. And the Dodgers, this should be something of a shot in the arm for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have to be much better today. Yeah, this is starting to become a real problem. You know what I mean? So pretty much, let me go ahead and put this up here. Life's too short to bet the under. That's BG right there. Shout out to Viva Promotions. All right, so pretty much, the thing is with that, we have ourselves pretty much a spot where the Dodgers, series where the Dodgers should win it. They really should.
They've lost the last 5 series.
Right. You got the Mariners coming off the road. I know they had a day off and everything like that, but, they're on a long road trip right now. They've been traveling for a minute. I haven't seen them in Seattle in a while. So pretty much they're coming to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are set up in a position to sweep this week, in my opinion. They should get all 3 games against the Mariners this week if they are on point. And see, if the Dodgers keep being inconsistent, they're going to be sitting in 3rd place much longer than they are right now.
Agreed.
They know that. They cannot fall behind the Padres and the Giants. See, that's the problem, that the Dodgers have not been able to get those games in my opinion. The Dodgers have been playing against everybody else in the world but the NL West, and the Dodgers feast on the NL West. Me and you both know this, Jeff, because look at it. I think at least 40% of their wins came against the Rockies this year. Rockies beat them 1 time. I think they played them 8 times already this year. So that's 7 wins in itself right there. Then the other 11 kind of scatter out a little bit. But this is a series that they have to win. And then when they get to when they start getting into the NL West core points of the schedule, I think that's when the Dodgers explode because they play their absolute best against the rivals. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. Again, the people that say, hey, listen, there's 162 games. Listen, I get it. But, you can't win the World Series in April and May, but you sure can lose it. And, they're fortunate that the Padres are a little banged up. The Giants have got off to a hot start, and Colorado's Colorado. So listen, you have, as I said, you have 2 all-star teams on that 26-man rotation there. You're going to get some pieces back. Listen, you're the world champs. You know what you have to do. It's not Dave Roberts' fault either, by the way. And so to all the naysayers out there, you'll be fine, but it's time to start winning some series. That's all.
Right, because we're in mid-May. We're in early May. There's nothing to worry about. Dodgers are boys of summer type team. They're going to roll off 10 in a row, then they'll come back and roll off another 10 in a row, and then they'll come off and roll off another 10 in a row. And next thing you know, the season's over. And they're back in first place, winning by 5.5 games. I'm not worried about the Dodgers at all. But if I was in New York right now in the Bronx, I'm definitely worried about the Yankees. Seriously, I'm worried about the Bombers right now. I'm telling you.
They'll be fine.
All in all, it should be a good one. Dodgers are a heavy favorite here. So if I would suggest any bet for you, have some fun with this one. Play the -2.5 tonight. That's a Jeff bet right there. That's what we call the Pedro special.
There you go.
Pedro special. They asked me Rangers or Giants today. So we're still sitting with Rangers and Giants. I'm going to answer that question today. I think the Giants should roll in that one. What do you think, Jeff?
I saw that over-under at 8.5. That looked like they're trying to entice you. I would actually lean the over there. Those 2 good pitching matchups. And if you're looking at the dead balls that is going on, the under-overs are at 7, 7.5, 8, unless you're playing at Coors Field. You're playing at a wind-blown Wrigley, or you're playing at the Jays. Start keeping an eye on the Jays under-overs, because that home park in Florida is a launching pad. So I lean over 8.5.
They in Florida? I thought they were in Buffalo.
They're down in Florida.
Okay, they didn't do Buffalo this year, huh?
Nope, they went to Florida.
Okay, so where are they playing at the training facility?
I'm not even sure the name of it, but take a look at it. It is a launching pad. Okay,
that's why we're gonna have a career year from little Vlad. Okay, I got you. All right, so with that, we're going to let Jeff go. Jeff got business to handle. Jeff's big show is on the way as well, too. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Also, you guys can follow my man over at ECSI and also East Coast Sports Investors on the Instagram as well, too. Pretty much, Jeff, any shots out that you want to send? I know I already done put out your handles and everything, but.
No, as you said, we've been waiting to debut the Breakfast Bankroll. And what we're trying to do is to go over some overnight numbers, what the morning lines are telling people, have some guests on, some experts in certain sports, and try to do it on Monday through Friday, but be available in the afternoon to answer questions as well. So if you're not following us, go on to Twitter at EC Sports Invest, or send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. And we'll hit you up. And we're hoping to launch this at the end of the week or the first of next week.
Sounds good to me. Hopefully I can be the first guest.
Peace.
All right. So with that, you guys check out Paramount Plus. You guys can go ahead and get yourself situated. Watch some great content on there as well, too. Very good shows there. So you guys check them on out. You guys, some of your favorites are there as well, too. So you guys give them a chance. Use the promo code VSX. And with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and we will be right back.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper. And let's go ahead and jump into the player of the night. And the player of the night last night was Delonte Murray. And my bad. Thank you so much to my graphics guy. He corrected me. I put Delonte Murray. So sorry about that one. But Delonte Murray last night had himself a good game. I put him here because, you know what? The Spurs were not supposed to beat the Bucks supposedly last night, but they beat them down to absolute soundtrack last night, 146-125. Delonte had himself a game as well, too, and I really enjoyed his effort overall to get his team that victory. I know a lot of people say you congratulated the Brodie earlier, but you didn't put him as the player of the night. Well, you know what? We do not reward players that lose the game. It's just that simple. So I went with the Delonte Murray because I saw that his performance was a really good performance last night that keeps his team intact when it comes down to getting to the playoffs this year. So that's our player of the night, Delonte Murray, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, and we'll see who's going to get the winner of the player of the night tonight. It should be a good one. We got 11 games on the schedule, and in those 11 games, I got 5 ready for you to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump into our first spot, which is going to be a very fun game. It's going to be the Wolves and the Pistons. This is between two of the lowly teams in the NBA, but both these teams have played much better basketball at this point of the year. But, you know, everybody's getting tired of getting beat on, so, you know, that's how it goes. Now, you have a Timberwolves team that's dropped their last 3 out of 5 games, and they've pretty much struggled all throughout May, losing their first 3 games in a row, but they did get a good win over Orlando. Then you have a Pistons team that's dropped their last 4 out of 5 games, and they are actually 1-5 in the month of May as well, too. So it's a struggle right now for the Pistons. Pistons coming here as a 7.5-point dog. Over under 227.5. And I know it's going to sound crazy when I say this, but, you know, I always have a dog of the day. So I'm going to be chasing a little bit here. I'm going to take the Pistons with the plus 260 money line as our dog of the day. And we move on to the Nuggets at the Hornets. Now, the Nuggets at the Hornets, this presents another game where the home team is the dog. And actually, I think there's only about 2 home favorites today as well, too. So we got a plus 6.5 on the Hornets and an over-under a 218.5, which has risen to 220. So I do feel like this is a scoreboard watching game. And I think the Hornets are going to get a much better effort on offense than they've been getting the last few games and everything like that. So I truly do believe that this one can work out for over and under bettors, but I like the over in this spot. So let's see how it shakes out, see how it goes. Nuggets at the Hornets, and we move on from there. We have ourselves the another good one here with the Heat and the Celtics. The Heat actually won the game the other day against the Celtics. The Celtics, that was a Sunday afternoon showcase game. Now Miami comes in here minus 125 on the spread, while Boston's plus 105. So, and they're not that far apart on it. So I would say that this is a game that you would bet the money line in. Now you have a Heat team that's won their last 4 out of 5, and a Boston team who is fairly hot the last few weeks of the season, kind of cooled off. They've dropped their last 3 out of 5. So, you know, we go into this one. This one should be a good game. I think that Boston's going to right their wrong from the last time out because they really wanted that game, but they just fell a little short. But we'll see how it goes. It's more of a scoreboard watching game than anything because it's kind of indecisive on the line on who to take. So be smart about this thing. Just go ahead and take the scoreboard, and that's the over-under, okay? And we move on to the Clippers at the Raptors, live from Tampa. Remember, they're not playing in They're not playing in Toronto right now. So you have a Clipper team that's actually now sitting at 13.5 as a big favorite here, but they had a very close game with Toronto last time out, and they just dropped the game to the Knicks as well too. And so I don't like the way that this Clipper team is finishing the season, and I think that the Raptors will be in it to win it because they know that this is Kawhi's team now and everything like that. And they always play their absolute best when they go against Kawhi. And even if he's not playing, they're still going to go their absolute best. But, when you look at the Clippers, as I said before, they have been more of a hype machine than anything, and they're just as bad as the Lakers. They're starting to fall down the playoff standings as well too, and they've only won their last 3 out of 5 games as well. They've lost their last 3 out of 5 games as well too. And then you have the Raptors who've dropped their last 4 out of 5. So what do you do here? You don't take a team that's over here struggling as much as the way the Clippers are, and then you can trust a desperate team like the Raptors, especially when they kind of have an incentive to beat you. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out, and we will move from there. And then we have ourselves the Warriors at the Warriors and the Suns tonight, not the Warriors and the but we have the Warriors and the Suns tonight, and this should be a good one. We have the Warriors coming in here, 5-point dog, but they did win last night as a dog as well too. So pretty much this is what we're doing here. We're going to look at this one and say to ourselves that the Warriors should be in this game. They should make it really close. The Suns, still kind of reeling from that loss the other night to the Lakers. The Lakers really put it to them too, man, to be honest with you. But the Warriors coming into that game, the Suns coming into that game had won 3 out of 4 until dropping that game. But you got a Warriors team that's won their last 3 in a row and their last 4 out of 5 as well too. So they're hot because of Steph Curry right now, because Steph Curry is absolutely cooking. And I'm telling you, he's cooking 7-course meals on these NBA defenses. So it is what it is at the end of the day. You see this game, you see the scoreboard, you see this is a good old rivalry, Suns, Warriors, Pacific Division. We'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out, and let's get into the state of the Lakers. And state of the Lakers is like this. We're going to go ahead and we see that now LeBron James is back on the scene to be to lead this team back into the playoffs. The Lakers are in a play-in situation now, but I don't trust any of the teams above them. I suggest that everybody else should be in the same boat, because I know the Blazers did win last night, but the Blazers don't beat good teams anyway. So, they always beat up on the softies. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And as I said before, the Lakers can walk into this thing as a 7th seed. It makes it that much worse for the Suns. The Suns would prefer Warriors Spurs situation or something of that nature. They don't want the defending champs walking in there taking their lunch money, which looks like it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Pretty much. And that would set up the Lakers to actually be in the second round, not against the Clippers, but actually from what it's looking like right now, that would set up the Lakers to be in position to go ahead and play the Nuggets actually in the next round. And Utah would actually benefit from the Lakers not being an 8th seed or being in the top 4, because the thing is, the Lakers can capably beat them with LeBron and AD. But AD is absolutely back. AD has scored 88 points over the last 2 games, and he's absolutely just going berserk. You know what I mean? Like, he has a real vendetta. Seriously, and I think that's good. He went straight to the rim. He was making these guys accountable. He was making them play defense. So that's something you can appreciate as well, too. So pretty much when you look at this situation, you got Anthony Davis ready to lead this team into the playoffs. I think he's completely healthy. You got KCP, who's dropped to 17, and KCP has became more and more of a consistent scorer. Andre Drummond did okay yesterday. He got himself a nice amount of rebounds, but we did need him to score a little bit yesterday as well too. But I think as LeBron gets more acclimated to him, and he gets more acclimated to them, then this should wind up being a pretty good team when it's all said and done. So with that, we got the Knicks tonight. We should see how it shakes out. And I've totally forgot about that as well too. But now I remember the Knicks are here. And as they always say, Let's go. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into talking tickets. And in talking tickets, we have ourselves the MLB Primetime Pick 6. I'm going to go ahead and take the Phillies with the plus 110 today. Also the minus 1.5 on the Mets. Also the over 8 on the Yanks and Rays. And then the A's money line plus 105. And then the plus 1.5 on the Cards. And the under 7.5 on the Twins and the White Sox. So that's going to be the MLB Primetime Pick 6 at 58-1. We go ahead and we jump on into the NBA Super High 5, which is 46-1. So big value for you guys today as well, too. So we have the over 220, Nuggets, Hornets. Then we have the Pistons plus 260. Also the under 225 with the Heat and the Celtics. And then we have the plus 12.5 with the Raptors. And then we also had a plus 5 with the Warriors. All right, so that's going to be our NBA Super High 5 group, 46-1. Let's see how it shakes out. And, pretty much you guys can go ahead and put up your 20 and get back 920 for this bet. So it is what it is at the end of the day. You guys go ahead and check out the website, You Wager. You guys can go ahead and go where the world bet's at. And you guys can get yourself situated with a 50% match deposit with that promo code VSXPOP, and you guys will receive that deal, and you guys will wind up starting your sports bet journey with some money in there. So you put up $200, they'll put $200 in a free play for you, so you can go ahead and get started. So that's You Wager, one of our proud sponsors, and once again, you guys check them on out, and you guys can go ahead and reap the benefits. All right, so pretty much that's going to be a wrap on the show today. I want to go ahead and thank everybody who watched today. I also want to send a big shout out to my graphics producer. Great job today, bro. Can't wait to get back at it tomorrow with you. Also, a big shout out to Jeff for coming in and bringing the heat as usual. Tomorrow, we're going to bring in my man, the Wednesday correspondent, Mike Abadir, to go ahead and talk about some Bob Baffert news, some boxing news, and some more NFL news as well, too. So with that, this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I am the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.